Let's go Broncos! Sean Payton's team finds itself in an incredibly promising position as it prepares to face the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. In the last few hours, we've received some news that has everyone excited. If you believe the Broncos will beat the Bills, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like, "Go Broncos! I believe in the Super Bowl." With the team entering as an underdog, many may see this as an uphill battle. However, several key advantages are stacking up in the Broncos' favor, suggesting a game that could reset expectations and bolster their playoff momentum. Let's take a look at why this matchup is not only winnable, but could set the stage for the Broncos to pull off one of the most memorable upsets of the season. First, there's the defensive scheme. The Buffalo Bills rely heavily on a Vic Fangio-style defense featuring two high-level safeties, a setup that perfectly plays to the strengths of Broncos quarterback B. Nix. Critics often label the Knicks as overly reliant on checkdowns, but that's where they truly thrive. Against this defensive alignment, they've excelled, ranking second in the NFL in touchdowns thrown and ninth in yards per attempt. It's no coincidence that those numbers align with a system that opens up intermediate routes and the middle of the field, areas the Knicks target with precision. If the Bills stick to their usual defensive formula, expect the Knicks to methodically pick them apart. The battle of the trenches adds another fascinating layer. This matchup pits the NFL's most prolific pass rushing defense, the Broncos, against one of the league's best offensive lines in quarterback protection. History shows that when these forces collide, the defense often prevails. The Broncos have shattered franchise records this season with 63 sacks, an achievement even more impressive considering their tough schedule against playoff-caliber offenses. The defensive duo of Jonathan Cooper and Nick Bonitto alone have combined for 24 sacks, reinvigorating the Broncos' pass rush. This isn't just statistical noise. These are tangible results against some of the league's top talent. With the likes of Zach Allen anchoring the defensive line, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen is in for a long, pressure-filled afternoon. Looking beyond the statistics, the Broncos' mindset could be their secret weapon. Embracing the underdog role, this team is playing loose, confident, and fearless, a stark contrast to a Bills squad weighed down by expectations and historical baggage. Sean McDermott's team faces immense pressure not only to win but to perform well, given Buffalo's history of playoff disappointments and Super Bowl losses. Conversely, the Broncos are entering this game with nothing to lose, a mindset B. Nix himself acknowledged as a distinct advantage. Playing free of pressure has allowed the team to focus on their strengths while maintaining an infectious energy and hunger. Another narrative worth dispelling is the claim that the Broncos have had an easy road to the playoffs. This simply doesn't hold water. When facing playoff-caliber teams, Denver has actually outscored their opponents by 3 points, a stark contrast to the Bills, who are 15 points in the red under similar conditions. This stat alone debunks the idea that the Broncos are coasting into the postseason. Instead, it reinforces the notion that this team has earned its spot and is capable of competing against top-tier talent. It's also important to highlight the unity and focus within the locker room. Veteran receiver Courtland Sutton has made it clear that this team isn't content with merely making the playoffs. Mission accomplished? No. The mission is to go further, Sutton stated, emphasizing the group's collective ambition. This resolve is echoed by younger players like Riley Moss, who exudes confidence and determination heading into what he calls just another challenge. The chemistry and leadership on this team, from Coach Sean Payton to the youngest contributors, stand as a testament to their resilience and shared belief. Finally, let's not overlook the intangible edge Payton brings to the table. His coaching pedigree and ability to adapt in high-stakes situations cannot be overstated. With a history of overcoming adversity, including leading the New Orleans Saints to a Super Bowl victory against Peyton Manning, Payton knows how to navigate playoff scenarios. His confidence and tactical acumen have trickled down to his players, creating a culture of belief that's palpable heading into this weekend. The odds might suggest a Buffalo victory, but the Broncos are primed to defy expectations. From schematic advantages to psychological edge, everything points to a competitive, hard-fought game that could see Denver come out on top. But what do you think? Broncos country, can these factors propel us to victory, or will the Bills prove too much to handle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to tune in Sunday for what promises to be an electrifying showdown. There's no doubt that this matchup has the makings of a classic underdog story. The Denver Broncos have quietly evolved into one of the most dangerous teams entering the playoffs, and the sneaky advantages they hold could lead to a defining moment not just for this season, but for the trajectory trajectory of the franchise. Let's dive even deeper into why this game is the perfect storm for an upset. One critical factor is the Broncos' ability to create chaos on defense. While Buffalo boasts a high-powered offense led by Josh Allen, the Bills have struggled against teams with elite pass rushes. Denver's defensive line, led by Jonathan Cooper and Nick Benito, is firing on all cylinders. The pair's combined 24 sacks are more than just a statistic. They represent a relentless pursuit of opposing quarterbacks. And they're not alone. Zach Allen and the rest of Denver's demolition crew, as fans have begun calling them, have consistently disrupted offensive lines, collapsing pockets, and forcing hurried throws. If the Broncos can maintain this level of intensity, it could spell disaster for Josh Allen and his receivers. Speaking of receivers, here's another area where the Broncos could capitalize. The Bills' receiving core has been underwhelming this season, with no single player eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark. While Stephon Diggs remains a dangerous weapon, the depth just isn't there. Denver's secondary, bolstered by standout performances from younger players like Riley Moss, has the tools to limit Buffalo's air attack. Moss, in particular, has shown remarkable growth and confidence, stating outright that he's ready for this challenge. The key will be containing Buffalo's tight ends, an area where the Broncos have occasionally struggled. Still, with defensive coordinator Vance Joseph's adjustments, there's optimism that Denver can neutralize this threat. Another sneaky advantage? The Broncos' youth. While some might view inexperience as a liability, Denver's young roster has brought an energy and fearlessness that's hard to replicate. This is the second youngest team in the playoffs, and they're playing like they have nothing to lose. It's an attitude that's both refreshing and dangerous for opponents. Combine this with the leadership of veterans like Cortland Sutton, who's made it clear the team isn't just happy to be here, and you have a group that's both motivated and grounded. On the other side of the ball, Nix continues to prove doubters wrong. His ability to exploit Buffalo's defensive tendencies will be crucial. The Vic Fangio-style defense that the Bills often rely on is practically tailor-made for Nick's skill set. His proficiency in exploiting intermediate routes and attacking the middle of the field could lead to sustained drives and critical scoring opportunities. What's more, Nick's poise under pressure and ability to adapt have been hallmarks of his game this season. If he can stay composed and avoid turnovers, the Broncos have a real shot at controlling the tempo of the game. Let's not forget the psychological aspect. Buffalo enters this game with the weight of expectations, a history of playoff heartbreak, and a coach in Sean McDermott who's under intense scrutiny. The Broncos, meanwhile, are playing with house money. They've embraced the underdog role, using it as motivation to play loose and confident. This mindset shift can't be overstated. When teams play tight, they make mistakes. When teams play free, they're dangerous. The Bills might have the higher seed, but the Broncos seem to have the mental edge. And then there's Sean Payton. His track record in high-stakes games is unparalleled, and his ability to outcoach opponents gives Denver a distinct advantage. Payton's history of overcoming adversity, as seen during his time with the New Orleans Saints, is a blueprint for how to navigate these situations. His meticulous preparation and ability to rally his team around a shared goal are why the Broncos are peaking at the right time. So, Broncos country, now it's your turn. What do you think? Are these advantages enough to topple the Bills? How do you see the game unfolding? Drop your predictions and thoughts in the comments. Let's get ready for what could be one of the most thrilling games of the year. Don't miss it. This is just the beginning of something extraordinary.